Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts, guys. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is Wednesday. Let's get the humping. Hopefully, you guys are doing pretty good. It's still hot in Southern California on this August 14th. Hey, we're almost at September. Jesus, hopefully. Let's start cooling down a little bit. My electric bill was ridiculous. How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys just subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We got some things to talk about. Some things about superhero costumes. Joaquin Phoenix update. Alien Romulus. And then, of course, Kraven. Haven't watched the trailer yet, so I'm going to do a live reaction for you guys. All right, who we got here? All right, who we got? Let's see, make sure everything's good with that. All right, we're good. Let's see what we got here. We got Gilmore Eric Smith right here. The X-Men movie costumes were always terrible. Always terrible. Interesting. Okay. We got Ron right here. I think Superman looks better than Fantastic Four. All right, then. Let's see who else we got. We got Versus Seed right here. Thinking the same. We got Miss Lisa. How's it going, darling? And then, let's see. Superman looks good, but got to get used to the lines. Johnny has too much white. Is all. Right? Too much white out there. Sorry. Anyways, what's going on, Shano? Good to see you, buddy. We got Taladia Plays. If you're doing well, I don't think all superhero suits are getting worse. Some are bad and some are good. There you go. That's what I just figured, since there wasn't much when it came to some of the stuff talking today. It was just something I was thinking about after seeing the Fantastic Four costume, and I wanted to just talk about it just a little bit more. What's going on, Mr. Fear Jason? Good to see ya. Yo, hey, look at that. Hey, it is Wine Wednesday. I got the Pinot Gris happening today, so cheers. That's right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I saw that today, Russ. I just saw that right now. Famous, ain't it? I almost messed that one up. Jesus, come on. Famous Amos. Great cookies. Great cookies. Yeah, he died today. I think he was 88, I want to say. But the founder of Famous Amos passed away today. So may he rest in peace. Like I said, I don't know how many times I've eaten those cookies. Those are great cookies, man. Eric Patterson, good to see you. Good to see you. Who else we got here? Ahoy, ahoy, Mr. Jason McKenzie right here. Always great to see you, my friend. Always great to see you. All right, who we got here? We got RJ. Always great to see you, bud. We got JD McRae. Always great to see you as well. 2 more days of work, and then I'm off for 8 days. I am jealous of you, Lisa. So jealous. I wish I could take 8 days off. But hey, congratulations. Hopefully you get some relaxation in. So that'd be good. We got W Games right here. Rebel Moon Director's Cuts Chapter 2 is fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Look at that. I'm telling you. And I'll say it again. I think I've said it here. I've said it somewhere. Just give it some time. You know, Zach is always a little ahead of his time when it comes to some of his projects where people just have to come around and be like, oh, you know what? Hey, this guy knows what he's doing. But again, I know we always are going to be talking about the way that they released the movies, which, yes, the experiment didn't work. But now that that's all past, just watch the movies for how they are and see if you actually like them. We got R. Wicks right here. The X-Men 2000 costumes have grown on me. Of course, I bought the Wolverine 6-inch toy. There you go. Like that. Cortez, what's happening? To answer your question on the thumbnail, yes, no. I think that some suits are way too over-designed these days. I believe that it depends on the material when designing your costume. Makes sense. We got Mr. Trevino right here. We got Adrian, famous what? I know. I almost slipped. Freudian slip, maybe? I don't know. Crazy, crazy guy. I know. It was just like right there. It was like, oh, crap. Did I say that wrong? And everything. So we got the Black Red right here. What's happening? Been a while. Yeah, I haven't seen you in the chat in a little bit. So good to see you. Good to see you. But yes, guys. Yeah, we'll talk about mainly, since it's Fantastic Four and Superman Legacy coming out next year at the same time. I just kind of was like, okay. because I've seen mixed reviews, and I even posted on Twitter about 2 hours ago. I wanted to gauge like people like who follow me on how, I already know how people mainly feel about the Superman costume, which is mainly negative, although it's flipped a little bit since that first promo image that was released. But I just wanted to, and then I'm going to give my thoughts. Specifically about those two costumes, but costumes in general, because it's always such a discourse out there when it comes to costumes now. I think like back in the day, we were just happy to see live action versions of these characters that we love, and we didn't care really what the costume looked like. And then of course you always hear about horror stories about costumes and how uncomfortable they are. I mean, it seems like every bat suit, no matter what, every bat suit is very uncomfortable. It seems like the bat suits always are very uncomfortable. For any actor always says how uncomfortable they are, even if they try to take some liberties on certain things. And I'm just kind of wondering, are we going into a certain realm where the costumes are more practical, I guess you could say, for the actor to move around in? And that's what I'm kind of like, I'm going to lead into when we get into that subject right there. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that. And yeah, like I said, we got a new article. We got another thing. I'm trying to be like a weatherman right here. We got another thing when it comes to Joaquin Phoenix. I knew there was going to be more that was going to be coming out from that story. So we'll talk about that, and we're going to talk about Alien Romulus reviews. And then, yes, guys, do a live reaction of Kraven the Hunter, a trailer they released at midnight my time. Why did they release it at midnight my time? My theory is they were hoping to get a boost from the other side of the world, because they know this I don't know. It's very interesting why Sony decided to release it at midnight Pacific time, which means 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess they just wanted to get a little oomph before people woke up to comment about it. I don't know. But hey, always looking forward to seeing a trailer. And I've already seen, of course, some images and stuff like that. When it comes to it, of course, I mean, there's a certain character that everybody was passing around for sure. So anyways, guys, all right. Let's jump into the tweets. And all right, let's start off right here. Okay. Here we go. Again, subscribe to the channel, hit that like, thumbs up, do all that before I get started here. All right. The Crow is coming out next week, and well, you guys know that if you've been following me, I'm not too excited for it. Not too excited for The Crow because I love the original Crow movie so much with Brandon Lee and Alex Proyas. Thought he did a great job with it, and I've read some comic books. I never like dove into The Crow all that much, but when it comes to the new one, I'm going, okay, the action looks pretty good. I like Skarsgård, but overall, I'm just kind of going, yeah, I'm just not hyped for it. And they did this thing with the two actors. And I'm like going, this is not helping. ASMR, you're gonna do. Okay.
Hi, I'm FK Twix.
I'm Bill Skarsgård.
And today we're going to do some Crow.
What are we doing here, folks?
This is what.
Does anybody like this kind of stuff? I'm one of those that get really. This makes my skin crawl. Like I'm about to just, I don't like it. I just don't like it. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. I can't anymore. It just gives me the heebs and the jeebs. I'm like, what are we? I'm gonna do that. Quite a haircut on her, by the way. I was like, I'm not too familiar with her. I mean, I know she's like an artist and stuff like that, and she's expressing herself. I just like how Skarsgård, he's just a normal. He's just like, I'm just nerdy, and here's my hair parted to the side. Anyways, it's just kind of funny, especially how he looks in the movie. But I'm just kind of going like, all right, that's one way to do it, I guess. That's one way to do it. I guess that's one way to promote it. They're trying to appeal to the TikTok audience, I guess, or, that kind of audience. But I know it's not the first time this has been done before when it comes to press for a movie. But I'm just kind of going like, nails on a fucking chalkboard. Nails on a chalkboard. I'm still going to watch the movie, though. I still plan on watching the movie. I will. I do plan on watching it next week, but yeah, just the hype is not quite there. Ooh, childhood memories right here. So I've talked about this a little bit before too, which was back when I was a kid. One of my favorite toys, Batman toys that I had, or Batman setups when it comes to figurines and all the stuff, was the Batcave. They had the Batcave Command Center that was released probably in 1990, 1991. It was before Batman Returns. It was kind of like a combination of both. I think it was more after Batman Returns came out, to be honest. But it was like this Batcave Command Center was very much... It was just really cool because it had an entry for... It looked much more like the Batman 89 setup and everything, but here it is right here. This is it, and it was awesome because, you know, you had Wayne Manor, the front of it. Of course, Wayne Manor. You had your entrance for the Batcave, and you could put the Batmobile, and of course, the figures in Batmobile sold separately. Some assembly acquired. And you had, of course, where the Batsuit was, and it was cool because you would stick Bruce Wayne... You'd stick Bruce Wayne right here, and then it would flip around. You have that little dial. Flip around, and then, of course, you'd have Batman right there. And then, of course, you had all the screens and everything from Batman 89. But what was funny about it is they just took this Batcave Command Center and just repainted it. They repainted it for the newer Batmans. Batman the Animated Series, they just repainted it. So now it's the same setup. The exact same setup, but of course you have all the Batman Animated Series figurines and the Batmobile, and they put a new paint job on it. Oh, that's not it. You also had Batman Forever, repainted yet again. And of course, putting new stickers on the screens. But yeah, new paint job. And then they also did it for Batman and Robin. I mean, it was just the same exact toy, and they repainted it. I just thought that was funny. Because I remember seeing that when I was younger, too, because I had the original one. My mom probably has it in, like, a crate somewhere. But I just thought it was kind of funny how I remember seeing that, and I wanted to get the next version. I wanted to get the animated series version, but I think my parents were like, you have that. They just repainted it. My parents were smart. You know, they knew exactly that's all they did was just repaint the same toy, and they try to resell it. Just kind of funny. Just kind of funny how that was. Hey, that's how you save money, I guess, right? You want to know why? You want to know why Hugh Jackman, his arms always look like they were freaking just like bulging and the veins were going? It's because he was always pulling on these freaking resistance cables. Between every scene, that's what happens. That's what happens right there. So he's sitting in the back seat before he makes that entrance that he does in that little final battle right there. Just pulling on those resistance cables. That's right. That's what they do. You got to get that pump. You got to get that pump. Got to get that pump. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, his build, I mean, I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. His build in the original X-Men movie was fine. It's like this obsession of like being like so freaking shredded and always pumped up is always just a weird thing to me. I don't know. Anyways, so we got Hellboy, the Crooked Man, and there's been 2 trailers now. I think we reacted to one. It was for Comic-Con. It showed up during Comic-Con when I did that Saturday vodka stream for Comic-Con. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a chance because, you know, they're making a more subtle horror type of movie. It's got a horror vibe to it. But I wasn't quite all about what the makeup looks like. But, you know, you throw a little black and white on it. Hey, that doesn't look that bad. Okay. Not too shabby. I'm like, all right, it's got the cigarette in his mouth. All right. I'm just kind of going like, all right, that looks better. That does look better. I think they should just have the whole thing in black and white, maybe. I don't know. But, I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it a chance, too. I try to give all the movies a chance. And I love this too right here. Gotta love this. Well, we love Halle Berry, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, you want to talk about aging like a fine wine? That is Halle Berry for sure. But she talked recently about not being asked to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine. But yet we saw those images where she was rocking some white hair as if she was trying to pull a fast one when it came to all of this kind of, when it comes to like, throwing off the scent. I mean, let's face it, when it comes to, we heard that they were trying to be like, hey, guess what? We're going to throw you guys off the scent to make sure that you don't know which cameos are going to be showing up. So it was kind of interesting, but this is what Halle Berry had to say when she ran into Blake Lively about showing up in Deadpool and Wolverine. Blake Lively asked me one time, I ran into her at a Marc Jacobs fashion show, and she said, would you ever be in my husband's movie as Storm? And I said, yeah, if he asked me, but he never asked me. That's because Kevin Feige said, no, not yet. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. We got Secret Wars, we got Doomsday. Even Doomsday could be a thing, but mainly Secret Wars. And I'm just kind of going like, yeah, they wanted to throw people off the scent with those images of her like that. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, he didn't ask you, or you just kind of throwing people off the scent again because you are going to show up in an Avengers movie. I'm just saying. But we'll see what happens. Did that say John Campea? What? It did, huh? Hey, look at that. I don't know, is that the real John Campea? Well, if it is, how's it going, sir? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by, and thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you for that. You're awesome. Let's see. Black and white is a good idea. At least the second trailer is better than the first. I do agree with you on that one. Definitely agree with you on that. Second trailer, because we watched it, like I said, on the Saturday vodka stream during Comic-Con. I was like, okay, I'm getting the vibe here. But thank you again, John, Mr. Campea. Appreciate that. Making rounds. That's cool. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I do agree. Like, yeah, the second trailer was definitely better than the first. But anyways, appreciate it, John. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, look at that. John Campea showing up in the chat right there. Gotta love that. Anyways, okay, so we got this right here too. Okay, so when it comes to this, we got Cinema Blend right here, talking about what's going on, of course, with Blade, the new Blade with Mahershala Ali, and like what's happening with it. So naturally, we've heard like John. I mean, we've heard like when it comes to Kevin Feige, even like more interviews, more clips are coming out from recent interviews with Kevin Feige. Obviously, we had that one where it was talking about like Kang, and that was like you immediately kind of like shut that down. But now here we have Feige right here that is talking about what's going on with Blade and trying to get it right.
When you have a character as famous as Blade and an actor as famous as Mahershala, everything that happens just gets a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure you've heard us talk about, we were struggling finding the perfect reason for Deadpool to exist, the third Deadpool movie that MCU, and then Hugh Jackman called. Yeah. And it fell into place. Yeah. Like sometimes you need that magic thing that falls into place. Right. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes 2 years, sometimes it takes 10 years. And that's what you really should be waiting for until you make something. And making sure each thing is special, each thing has the time internally to be developed right, which is why our Blade movie is frustratingly taking so long to make sure we get it right. And then when they're done, like Deadpool and Wolverine, that can really be the focus. When you have a character...
10 years, shouldn't take 10 years. Should not take 10 years. Hopefully it doesn't take 10 years. It's already been 5. We're already halfway there. I'm just kind of going like, okay. Totally understand it. And then, of course, like what he said, like sometimes they didn't know what they wanted to do with Deadpool 3, introducing him into the MCU. And then all of a sudden Hugh Jackman calls and it's like, all right, everything just kind of went into place. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you're not going to have that with Blade. You're not going to have somebody that magically calls and goes, oh, okay, unless you do some kind of multiversal Blade movie where you have Wesley Snipes and Mahershala Ali, which wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. Wouldn't be that bad of an idea if you have like a passing of the torch or a passing of the sword with that. Can you imagine that? Especially with everybody freaking out about Wesley Snipes coming back as Blade, and that's been like a big topic when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine. You could do something like that. Of course, there's, it could just be like something where people don't really like that, but at the same time, imagine having like the introduction fully to a new Blade by passing the torch from the old Blade and doing that whole thing where it's like, there it is. We got the two, but I don't know if they'd actually do that. But I mean, it's Marvel Studios. You just never know. Maybe that's been on the table. Maybe that's been written somewhere. They've been, hey, guess what? Maybe they have both of them for a little bit, and then of course, Wesley goes, he rides out into the sunset, and then Mahershala, it's him, and they make some big. That could be. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, why not have the little passing of the torch? If you can't figure out a standalone Blade story to fit in the MCU, I say have Wesley Snipes also be in it and just do some kind of multiversal thing. That shit seems to be working. That shit, I mean, let's face it. Some of it, when it comes to the multiverse stuff in the MCU, the stuff that's working is, Multiverse of Madness worked. It works. Let's face it, it works. Even though, some things maybe then people didn't like, I did. But at the same time, it's like, No Way Home, $1 billion. Deadpool and Wolverine, $1 billion. I mean, it seems like there are certain things that work when it comes to old characters that we've loved before coming back. Maybe do that with Blade, with Wesley Snipes. Just saying. Not going to work with every character, but it'll work with some. Could work with some. All right, what else we got here? Cavalrine. That's right. We got some Cavalrine that's happening right here. That's right. We got Cavalrine. And obviously a lot of us were excited to see Henry Cavill as Wolverine and see him appear in that little cameo that he had in Deadpool and Wolverine. But we have some concept art. That's right. We have some concept art. We've had a lot of releasing of concept art that has shown up when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine. Now we got some Henry Cavill concept art right here. Look at that beast. Look at that beast right there. That's right. Wearing the dog tags, wearing the the undershirt or the wife beater as we call it. And then of course we have him. Look at that. It's kind of funny because, hey, guess what? How many times have we talked about what is a consistent thing when it comes to Superman is the red flannel. The red flannel has been a consistent thing since the dawn of Superman. And then, of course, we have a green flannel. Doesn't look as good. I like the red flannel because it kind of adds a little bit of Superman to it. Kind of does a little bit, right? So I just thought that was kind of cool. That they released that, and they actually have, like, the red flannel on them. Hey, it's something. It's whatever. Hold on a sec. My stupid little app here. I swear, anytime they run updates on this, on software, it's like, sometimes it's just like, what the hell? All right. So we got some Superman. Well, let's see. Well, you guys know that I've had a little crush on Maria Gabriella. I always say her name wrong, and I apologize. But, who's playing the engineer in Superman, and I've had a little crush on her, especially when she posts images of how she has transformed her body, got really tight, and she's not afraid to show it off, and looking forward to seeing what that character does in the DCU, specifically Superman. We know that she's going to be kind of a villain role, kind of not, and then, of course, you got the Authority, but she has a before and after of her body transformation. Now, she's a model, so it wasn't like a huge transformation, but you could definitely see, certain things. And then, of course, before and after pictures are always kind of funny because obviously with the before picture, you kind of just do this whole like you don't flex, you don't do anything, you just kind of go brrr, like that. And then of course when it's the after picture, you start tightening everything up, you suck it in, you do all that. She does that here, but it is a very noticeable transformation. There you go, especially the hair. My God. But yeah, showing the before and after, wearing the exact same thing. She's gonna sell a workout. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the abs are like popping out. She's got like that vein thing going right up her bottom ab right there. But yeah, look respectfully, folks. Look respectfully, please. Look respectfully. So, but yeah, that's she wanted to do a before and after, and there it is right there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I saw somebody say like, yeah, too bad she got in that shape when the movie's gonna flop. I'm like, good God. Even if the movie does flop, she got paid a ton of money to get in serious shape. I always love that when I see like people like comment about that. Oh, that person got in shape only to have the movie flop. I'm like, they got paid to get in shape and they got paid to get really healthy. And then they could just, they're not going to like keep up that. She's probably not going to keep up that 100%. But at the same time, the stuff that she learned from how she got in that shape, you take that, and you move forward with it. So I always love that. But yeah, you always see like the haters out there. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously paying homage to planes, trains, and automobiles right here. That's what they were kind of going for with this scene at the end. So a little bit right there. That's always cool. Classic Thanksgiving movie. There's not too many Thanksgiving classic movies right there, so you gotta love that they were doing that. Then we got George Clooney. George Clooney not holding back when it comes to David O. Russell. That's right, and I've heard this stuff too. Many people have heard this stuff too. It is kind of curious that David O. Russell is still getting gigs and still getting his ensemble cast that he has that people that want to work with him. Apparently Christian Bale doesn't mind working with him, but George Clooney definitely doesn't want to work with him again. And in a new interview, he had this to say about David O. Russell. George Clooney calls known abuser and sexual predator David O. Russell a miserable fuck, saying he made my life hell, making every person on the crew's life hell on the set of Three Kings. Apparently it got pretty bad, too, where they were, like, about to go at it. But it's just kind of funny. It's like, he's a miserable fuck. It's like, yeah, that seems to be what people are saying that. I don't know if Christian Bale agrees. Again, I'm like, But it is kind of interesting. Didn't he make Amy Adams cry also when it came to American Hustle? Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Seems like David O. Russell, probably after his last bomb that he had, I don't know how much more he's actually going to be able to handle like these casts anymore, especially when people just don't want to work with him. But there's George Clooney. And you guys know I'm very much excited for the Saturday Night Live movie that's coming out on October 11th, just called Saturday Night by Jason Reitman. I like this poster. It's old school, very old school poster, showing everybody right here. I wonder who's playing George Carlin. I have to look that up. I don't know who's playing George Carlin, but I know George Carlin was he was part of that first episode. So I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about that first episode of Saturday Night Live, and I'm all about it. But I like that poster. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. And then this is cool right here. No, wait. Let's see here. Hold on a sec. Oh. Wait a minute. Nope, never mind. I'm not going to look at that. Anyways, this is not cool right here. I was going to look at something, but I was like, nope, we're not going to look at that. We'll save that. Because there's certain details I don't quite all know about. So we'll save that a little bit. Anyways. Oh boy. I mean, South Park, right? South Park was pretty much right when it comes to Disney. I think a lot of us were, but did you guys hear about this story right here? Did you guys hear I'm just going to read it. Because you read it and you almost go, this can't be real, right? this can't be real, right? Disney is trying to get a wrongful death lawsuit from a grieving husband tossed out of court because he signed up for Disney Plus years earlier. His wife suffered a fatal allergic reaction at a Disney Springs restaurant, but Disney insists that the husband agreed to arbitrate all disputes with the studio when he first signed up for a 1-month trial of Disney Plus. I'm sorry, is that part of the agreement when you sign up for it? I mean, I saw this and I'm like, okay, I didn't do a deep dive, but geez, that's part of it? I may never sign up for Disney Plus again, because if I go to a Disney resort or a park and I get really sick and maybe even die, you just got to throw it out because I signed up for Disney Plus. That's part of the agreement. That's right. You're signing up for Disney Plus, and if you die because of us, well, not our fault. You signed up for Disney Plus. Jeez. That's indeed crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, and that's sad. That is absolutely sad. Again, though, Bob Iger got a standing ovation. He got a standing ovation at D23. Yay, Bob. All right. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's not even. Okay. Let's look at something positive. Let's go back to something positive. And I love this right here because, Hugh Jackman, we love Hugh Jackman, and we love that he's back. And of course, he's not going to only just play Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine. There's going to be more to it. There's definitely going to be more to it. And you want to see his first reaction? His first reaction when it comes to watching Deadpool and Wolverine with Shawn Levy. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds was there. It doesn't seem like he was there, but we have a video right here. Look at this.
Well, nothing. I don't really know what to say. I'm so happy that you are happy and gratified and proud of your work.
I am.
Because we marvel at your work.
He said marvel.
I mean, we watch it time and again, and we say lines alongside you, and we marvel at the moments that you craft. It's just what a blessing to do it together.
Like, I can't wait to see it again. I cannot wait to see this with an audience. I cannot wait for the fans to see this. It's just like heroin in their eyeballs. Like
heroin in the eyeballs.
That should be the subtitle. You
want to tell us something there, Hugh?
Just
oh, yeah.
Right in there.
Yeah. I'm so happy you're happy.
You gotta love that. I mean, look at that. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. That reaction right there is just pretty priceless. Pretty priceless, like there. And yeah, watching with an audience. I mean, he watched it at Comic-Con with an audience. I mean, that's one of the things. Is like watching it with an audience. Of course, adds another level of like appreciation of what you're doing and everything, and all the hard work to go through it. So for sure. Guys, we have a Batman Part 2 update, guys. We have a Batman Part 2 update. Hey, watch out. You're not going to believe this. Breaking news, all right? This is from Zoe Kravitz. Catwoman herself is giving us some breaking news about the Batman Part 2 and what has happened. She was asked, because she had a new movie coming out that she's directed, which I'm looking forward to seeing, and she has news, guys, news. I think Matt's writing it right now. Thanks for that. I mean, come on. I was like, really? Okay. I mean, that was like, when this morning I saw it everywhere. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is breaking news? She just said, I think Matt's writing it right now. Yes, we know that. He's been writing it for the last 2 years. And nothing against that. It was just kind of funny seeing that all over the place and going like, oh yeah, we gotta, she teases her return. teases her return. And I'm like going, oh my God, that's it? That's what we're, okay. Sorry, just had to make a little joke right there, a little exclusive right there, but I'm going like, can we have a little bit more? No. I mean, we know this. He's been writing it for over 2 years. We know he's doing that right now. Let's relax here, people. Just like, fuck. Oh, I couldn't believe that. I was like, what? Okay, and we got some more concept art from Deadpool and Wolverine. First off, why, when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, when it came to Elektra, why? When some of the looks that they were like, came up with concept, yeah, they kind of like went, okay, yeah. When you saw the certain characters that showed back up, they looked like the concept art. But when it comes to Elektra, they decided to not go with this, which is a little more accurate to her character. What the hell? Why not? Why didn't they go with this look? This looks really cool. She's got the like headband thing and everything, or whatever that is. I'm kind of just like, come on, man. More red? They could have went with this look. But they didn't, apparently. But, it's whatever. And then, of course, we have Chris Evans. And that looks exactly what he pretty much looked like right there before he took that off right there. And we saw the Fantastic Four shirt, at least. But, yeah. I'm just like going like, when Jennifer Gardner, what do we do? You could have had her look, oh, man, what do we, Oh, well. Yeah, it's like, oh, we don't want to make her look like the, comic book version. Why would we want to do that? We want to make her look more like how she looked in the original Daredevil movie. I mean, I guess I get that, but at the same time, I'm going, just make her look, okay, whatever. But this is kind of cool. Well, no, let's not look at that. We don't need to look at that. Nah. Oh, look at this right here. I mean, pretty much when it comes to DCU, you want to see a cast photo from the DCU, Superman, or at least it's going to be now the DCU, or people that might be involved in the DCU or something like that. But we saw that they were at the Olympics in Paris, so they took a little group shot right here. Guess who's in the middle? Guess who's in the middle right there? Our new Booster Gold. Well, we haven't had really a live-action Booster Gold. I think we've had maybe have we had something in Smallville or something? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, there's Mr. Kumail Nanjiani right there, right in the middle. And yeah, he's gonna be Booster Gold there, folks. I don't really like the casting, but hey, I'll be optimistic, I guess, about it. I kind of wonder, are they going to dye his hair blonde, or are they going to do that, or are they going to go that whole nine? But I do like the fact that, Corn Sweat and, Rachel right here, they're standing right next to each other. So we see that height difference between Lois and Superman. And, man, both of them are very pale, aren't they? No. And we also have Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult was there, too. I'm still wondering about Mr. Flanagan right here, though. I'm like, okay. Maybe they're all just getting together, but I'm like, is Mike Flanagan, does he have you going to handle one of the projects in the DCU? That'd be pretty sweet, but nice little group shot right there. Nice little group shot. And also today, too, again, guys, I don't know why this was the thing, but, there's a certain, Twitter handle that decided to post yet again that the Eternals is not getting a sequel, guys. I don't know if you guys got to get reminded of this, every 7 weeks, but yes, guys, there's not going to be an Eternals sequel. I get it. People love the movie, and I was like, I was mixed about when it came to the Eternals. Yes, I get it, that the Eternals was something different. Chloe Zhao, talented filmmaker, and she did something different from what Marvel Studios usually does. Now, when it came to the initial story and some of the aspects of the story, I was like, okay, I don't know. It was kind of like a little with me with some things. I didn't think the lead character was strong, and I thought some of the other characters were stronger. But when it comes to the Eternals, it's like, okay, yeah, they try to do something different. They try to stray away. And this is, of course, when Marvel Studios was doing like their whole, hey, let's try to do something different. And when they try to do something, it just got mixed reviews and didn't, really do stuff at the box office. So yeah, I think immediately, back at 2022, whatever the hell it was, I think we all knew that there wasn't going to be an Eternals sequel. So why is it that every like 7 weeks we catch wind of something where somebody's saying, yeah, there's not going to be an Eternals sequel, and everybody makes it sound like it's like news? Can we stop that? Not going to happen. Okay, so can this be it? We already know that. I think we already figured that out. Anyways. Concept art of Little Logan. Comic accurate Logan right here. Isn't he precious? Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I mean, come on. He's got the hairy arms. I mean, his arms are hairy. And that's the way he was. He was very, very hairy. And, they had to make that joke. Of course. Of course they had to make that joke. And it was hilarious when it showed up. But yeah, there's the concept art for Logan. And it's pretty freaking hilarious. And it was just a hilarious scene in the movie. Everybody laughed. Everybody absolutely laughed. There are some people that don't even know. There are a lot of people that don't even know that Logan was actually that small. And some people were wanting that comic accurate version of Logan. It's like, no, really kind of doesn't work because you just kind of laugh. But yeah, the fact that they put that in Deadpool Wolverine, just absolutely like chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Oh, check this out. We're going to be talking about Alien Romulus. Somebody actually cut the Alien Romulus TV spot to make it look like an old Alien trailer.
Somewhere in deepest space, all hell is breaking loose. For the first time, it survived the most terrifying creature in the universe. You thought the nightmare was over. It hadn't even begun.
Are you sure about this?
One way to find out.
Kaylee Spaney, Alien Romulus, the new movie. This time, it's war. Rated R.
Rated R. Brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And studios should be doing stuff like that for movies like this. They should. If you want to really, if studios are trying to really capture nostalgia, you should do nostalgic like trailers like this. Just saying. Perfect. You add that film grain, you add that voice. Absolutely perfect. Perfect. Rated R. I love that voice. Yeah, that was freaking awesome right there. Come on, that's just freaking awesome right there. All right, couple more things. Well, this is hilarious because, yes, guys, I just talked about Eternals. Yes, Eternals not coming back because, yes, we don't need to be reminded that Eternals is not going to be getting a sequel every 7 weeks, and we're going to pretend like it's new news because some other scooper is now saying it, okay? But what's really funny is when you actually had Marvel Studios go, Eternals will return. But that's not it, folks. That's not it. They also put Kang will return. Uh-oh. Yep, that's not good. I just saw that tweet and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, you never want to, maybe they're going to stop doing that. Maybe only do that for your more popular characters. That's my guess. Don't promise somebody's going to return in the credits. Hilarious. I'm just kind of wondering if they're going to address any of that, so. But hey, guys, how would you like to be, how... So, Twisters. Kind of hilarious when it comes to this right here because we know that David Cornsweet was in Twisters, and when he was filming Twisters, or at least when all that was happening, when production was going on with Twisters, he did get the call to obviously audition for Superman, and apparently he got the gig while they were filming Twisters, and of course the entire crew was like, hey, congratulations. There's a video there. Glenn Powell said there's a video where we actually see that. Maybe it'll be released soon. But apparently, when it comes to twisters and bonus features, we have this little outtake right here. Probably shouldn't be showing this. But, well, okay, I'm not going to show it because I'm kind of wondering if this might be leaked, and I'm going to resist. But listen to the audio.
Forgot my keys.
Why is Clark Kent yelling at us?
There you go. Miguel, what's his name, says, why is Clark Kent yelling at me? I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should not show it because this might be leaked bonus features, and I don't need Warner Brothers to fucking, dive bomb this shit. So not going to show it, but I just played the audio. I'm not going to risk that. I just realized that. I'm going to play it a little safe right now, folks. So, yeah. So there you go. I'm just playing it safe because I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's grainy and stuff like that. This is going to be probably released later. And yeah, not going to risk it. But I just thought that was kind of funny that he said, why is Clark Kent yelling at me? That's pretty funny. Anyways, that's all the tweets right there. Let's see. Did I miss things? Thank you, of course, Lisa, for gifting a membership to my nerdy home. Appreciate that. And, yeah. That was weird that John Campea showed up right now. I don't know if he's still watching, but I was like, I know he's done that before. I don't know if he's done that with me, but I know people have mentioned that, like, smaller channels, because I had some people hit me up. Sometimes he'll just, like, make the rounds and see who's, like, live streaming, and he'll just throw some money at them. It's like, yeah. I mean, I get it. I have my reservations about the man, too. I mean, I know he's there's a discourse when it comes to a lot of that stuff, but, he does that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool, so. But, yeah, it was just kind of funny. Is he still here? But, yeah. But again, it's just kind of, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, he has made the rounds when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, let's see. Okay, you guys talking about the suit? Cool. Anyways. All right, let's talk about the main topic. Let's talk about Superman costume. Blah, blah, blah. Take another sip of wine, right? Cheers. Let's talk about superhero costumes, specifically Superman and Fantastic Four. Now, both Superman and Fantastic Four is coming out July next year. Now, who knows? Now, when it comes to Fantastic Four, you never know if that's going to be moved or not because they are just starting to film. But from the footage that we saw, seems like they have a lot already prepared. So it seems like the shoot's probably going to be pretty quick and probably going to be a quick shoot. Or not a quick shoot, but at least they're going to be on top of it. Now, that date might move, but hey, it seems like they're going to be shooting for that, and that's perfectly fine. Now, I'm glad that Superman, because there's a lot more writing on Superman, that they are actually going to, have a year of post-production to really make sure that movie is going to be fine, going to be good. And hopefully, and that's good. Superman needs to take its time. Hopefully Fantastic Four, not so much. So when it comes to the costumes of, where we're headed to right now, at least with those. When it comes to Superman, obviously we already know what a lot of people's reactions were. Even my reaction was, yeah, okay. But obviously when it came to the set photos, I went, okay, better. Looks better. The cape is my favorite part of the costume. So looking at that, I was like, all right, kind of cool. But then I wanted to gauge what people were thinking when it came to the Fantastic Four costume that we saw at D23, specifically on Johnny Storm right here. And then looking at it, I went, okay, I don't really like his hair. I don't know. The hair is kind of weird to me. I think they should just go with the buzz cut. But looking at the costume, I was like, all right, well, that's interesting. It's kind of not, there's nothing too spiffy about it. And a lot of people were comparing it to previous Fantastic Four costumes, specifically the ones that were worn by Chris Evans. Now, when it comes to these two movies that are coming out, there's something about the world aesthetic that we have to take in when it comes to looking at these costumes. Okay, specifically when it comes to Fantastic Four, we know how the world's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like 1960s future, kind of like retro, kind of future, kind of like Tomorrowland-esque. So when I look at this costume, and at first I go, ugh, I don't know, that's really the costume right there? But then I start thinking about the aesthetic, especially if you even look at the background right there. I kind of go, okay, wait a minute. This actually does fit the aesthetic. Now, there's been some edits that add a little bit more blue, and I'm kind of wondering, all right, is this the first costume? Is there going to be more? And that's always the question that we always have when it comes to these costumes. Is there going to be multiple costumes? Yeah, I would admit that there might be a little bit too much white in it. Maybe they should add a little bit more blue, but that's the way the costume looks right there, and I'm going, okay, it goes with the aesthetic. Definitely goes with the aesthetic. Now, when it comes to Superman and the way that costume looks, I mean, obviously there's been a discourse when it comes to that. We know that there's also going to be kind of an aesthetic to the world as, hey, this might be like a 70s kind of vibe, 70s aesthetic that's in modern day. Now, we don't know that specifically because we're just going by what we've seen in the set photos. Fantastic Four, we know exactly what the aesthetic they're going for. It's been mentioned, it's been talked about, so they already put it out there. That's what's so crazy about these two movies that are coming out in the same month is like you have one that we know a lot more about than the other. We've heard the score for Fantastic Four. We've seen, footage from Fantastic Four. We've only seen set photos, and we saw those costumes, of course, when it came to Hawkman and Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific, and obviously there are people that really hated those, and yeah, they looked kind of ugly, but you kind of understand them in the context of the fact that Max Lord and Lord Tech made those costumes, so they already have like team-ups already happening in the world, so you kind of understand that. But again, I do like, and I think Mr. Hardboiled has mentioned this many times before too, is the fact that, well, Superman's costume is more of like the working man's costume. And I'm just kind of going like, all right, are superhero costumes getting worse? Or are they getting more practical? To me, I think they're getting a little bit more practical. They're getting more practical because when you're not going to have a costume that's just like where you're just walking around like, just walking around like this. It's just something a little bit more comfortable. Our superhero costumes getting to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, we can make them look as cool as hell, which is always a good thing, let's face it. When they look really good, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, well, let's make them look a little bit more practical. I think that's where they're where superhero costumes are kind of headed right now. They're more practical. Like this looks comfortable. Like he doesn't look uncomfortable. Like it's tight, but it's not too tight. Like it's perfectly formed to his body. And everything just seems like it's comfortable. Again, I just don't like the wig that he has on. I don't know. Anyways, that's just distracting. But it just looks like it actually is comfortable. So I think that's kind of like, especially with these two movies, that there's an aesthetic that James Gunn's trying to do an aesthetic for Superman. And then I forgot Shackman or whatever the hell his name is. And Marvel Studios are trying to create an aesthetic for Fantastic Four. So it's all about practical costumes and everything. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, okay, so when we look at costumes, I mean, obviously, you guys know where I'm at when it comes to Wilkinson's costumes. When it came to, obviously, the Snyderverse, those costumes are just works of art. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman especially. I mean, Jesus Christ, those are works of art. But at the same time, it's like, especially when it comes to the Bat costumes, you always hear about the Bat suits being just so uncomfortable. And I'm very curious to hear about how David Cornsweet, how long does it take him to get into that costume? Was it easy to get in the costume? Because there's more give, there's like, he can move around a little bit more, I mean, I think when it came to Cavill, they did say like he would have to have help to get in that costume because it was so skin tight. And of course, there is padding in there. So, I mean, and then, but obviously he looks like just a giant beast in this beautiful freaking costume. It looks very alien-like. I'm kind of, when it comes to Wonder Woman's costume, obviously a little bit more, she could move around all in that and stuff like that. But, yeah, I think it's just, to me, I'm like, okay, I don't know if costumes are getting worse. I think they're just getting more practical, maybe. And I'm kind of wondering what's going to be happening when it comes to look at Hugh Jackman's Wolverine costume, it's like, okay, we finally have the yellow costume, and then you look at it and you go, yeah, but it's not like this crazy, like, super skin tight and all this. It's just like, okay, you could see that he can move around in that. Like, I'm kind of wondering, too, like, how long does it take for him to get in that costume? I don't know. But I think for the aesthetic of this costume right here, it's definitely like, all right, it fits. It fits. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit too much white into it, but I was like looking at people's responses to all this, and a lot of people are like, yeah. I mean, some people don't like it, some people don't. Some people had some edits right here. There's an edit right here from Logan Burns. Added a little bit more blue to it, you know, and some people are like, it's okay. Here's a version right here that shows all the blue. That actually looks pretty cool. Blue is my favorite color, so I do kind of like that. So, yeah, that's James right there who put that. But, yeah, mainly people are like, I would say a majority of people that answered this, some people were like, it's okay, it's whatever. So, yeah, I just wanted to gauge people's reactions. So it just seems like, okay, I don't know. I don't know if they're getting worse. I think they're just getting more practical. I don't know. But at the same time, they're fitting the worlds that they actually are going to be living in. So that's just me. That's just me right there. All blue is so good. Yeah, there you go. So I don't have an opinion on costumes. As long as it looks good on screen and doesn't look like it came from Party City, I'm fine. Okay, so there's that. Batman actors get paid to wear those uncomfortable costumes, though. Part of the job. Yeah, I know. I get that. I get it's part of the job. But it's also interesting, too, when you have the stunt suit, which has way more give, you know? But, but see, that's when I'm going to be curious when it comes to Batman Brave and the Bold. What's that bat suit going to look like? I mean, I would say that Robert Pattinson's costume probably, if you look at that costume, that's probably the most practical costume when it comes to a bat suit, because it all started with rubber. I mean, how many times have we heard, you know, how uncomfortable those early rubber bat suits, you know, from the first 4 Batman movies. And you can't even hear anything in the cowl. You can't turn your head. And then, of course, when it came to Batman Begins, that costume was pretty rubbery, too, and you couldn't turn your head. And Christian Bale said that he would get migraines from wearing the cowl. And then he used that because he's a psycho. He's a psycho, and he used the pain to basically be like, well, I'm going to use that for, you know. And then, of course, with Dark Knight, they, you know, made it a little bit more where he can maneuver a little bit more and turn his head. Still an uncomfortable bat suit, though. And then, of course, when Ben Affleck's, BVS costume, yeah, apparently very uncomfortable, too. The Justice League one, yeah, I mean, the Justice League one seemed like he couldn't turn his head as much as the BVS one. Very interesting. And then, of course, I actually watched The Flash over the weekend. I put it on after I was just like, all right, I'm gonna lay on the couch and just kind of, I enjoy The Flash. Sorry, I enjoy The Flash. But I was watching that scene, and, when it came to the bat suit in The Flash, I mean, one of the things I kept hearing that I was being told was one of the reasons why it doesn't look all that great is because Ben Affleck didn't want to get back into the bat suit. He didn't want to get back in the bat suit, so they took liberties on making him comfortable. And that was probably the most comfortable bat suit because there was a lot. It was basically just a bodysuit with some pads that got put over it. The cowl was whatever. It was like the Justice League cowl, I guess. But I don't know. People always, people blame like Muschietti and Warner Brothers, but I'm like, it was Ben Affleck that was the reason why that bat suit didn't look the way it should have looked. He wasn't going to get back in that bat suit unless it was comfortable. That's the thing. So anyways, I've talked about that before. All right, let's talk about Joaquin Phoenix. Little update. Some updates are, at least this article right here when it comes to the Hollywood Reporter, because obviously we talked about how he walked away 5 days prior to shooting when it came to the gay romance movie from Mr. Haynes, Todd Haynes, who was going to be, Joaquin Phoenix. To give a recap, Joaquin Phoenix wanted to get this movie going and basically tackle this story that was going to be NC-17 about a detective drama that had to do with a gay romance. It was going to be NC-17, which is like, holy shit. And then, of course, 5 days prior to shooting, apparently Joaquin Phoenix walked away from the shoot and screwed over a lot of people, crew members, everything, and it was a big whole shit show. Now we got this article that came out yesterday talking about Joaquin Phoenix and other times even when he has been, not so great when it comes to collaboration and working on set. Joaquin Phoenix last-minute exit sparks huge amount of outrage among Hollywood producers. Not good, Joaquin, not good. When Joaquin Phoenix abruptly exited Todd Haynes' gay romance movie last week, just 5 days before production, the actor set off a tidal wave that has now rippled far past the confines of its Guadalajara, Mexico set. There's been a huge amount of outrage, says one studio exec, of the reaction from Hollywood producers to Phoenix's last-minute departure, which left cast and crew in a lurch and now opens the actor up to a possibility of legal action, which I say, yeah, fuck it, do that. The departure was particularly surprising given that Phoenix first brought the project to Haynes. Yeah, we already talked about that. Let's see. And then, of course, they talk about that, killer films. The actor is indeed known to get cold feet ahead of filming on various projects. Two sources tell THR that he threatened to leave Ridley Scott's Napoleon unless the master filmmaker Paul Thomas Anderson was brought in to do rewrites. Placated, he stayed aboard the project and it arrived in theaters last year. So this kind of shit happened when it came to Napoleon. And apparently Ridley Scott was like, all right, let's do it, which is kind of crazy because Ridley Scott's kind of a Looney Tune and he's up there in age. You'd think he would be like, no, you're not going to do this. But at the same time, I guess that kind of makes sense. It's like if your star is like acting like that. As Phoenix once told 60 Minutes Anderson Cooper, he's usually petrified when he takes on a role and that before he shoots, he's nervous that he won't be able to find the right kind of place to express his ideas. In recent days, the drumbeat has gotten louder among the producing community for legal action to be brought against Phoenix, with insiders pointing to examples throughout Hollywood history of actors being held accountable for leaving films without a star. In 1993, a court found Kim Basinger breached a verbal contract to star in a mainline pictures film Boxing Helena, with Basinger ordered to pay the company at least $8.92 million in damages. That ruling was overturned the next year, with Basinger eventually setting with Mainline in 1995, agreeing to $3.8. This has happened before, even with Bruce Willis. Many actors. That's pretty much, let's see. And then, of course, talks about Joker and all that stuff. So Joaquin is obviously a little bit of a loon. A lot of actors are, especially if you really go to those dark corners. And apparently it's just like he got cold feet, which is kind of interesting because it's like, what are the cold feet? Did you not think that you were going to have some like very NC-17 type of gay sex scenes? And that's the thing. That's what I was talking about on Monday's show is the double whammy is now you're going to be called out because, in this day and age, people don't like it when straight actors play gay actors. And, even though I think people are coming around to just let the actors act, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, what did you think was actually going to happen? And now it's like you're going to ruin your reputation. You have a sequel to a movie that made $1 billion and got you an Academy Award that's coming out in a couple of months. That's also going to be, what's going to happen with that? Are you not going to do press now? What's going to be happening? I mean, again, this is just a follow-up of what's happened. There's going to be more updates, and I'm sure there's going to be legal actions that's going to be happening, which they should. People got screwed out of work. People are now, that were working on this thing and we're getting ready to do it are screwed. And you're going to cost the studio like probably 7 figures. Not good, Joaquin. Not good. Not good. Not good. But yeah, I'll keep on updating, of course, when this all comes about. We got Miss Lisa. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Going to be covered up so he wins the Oscar again. I don't know if this is going to be covered up this time, though. I really don't. I really don't know if this is going to be covered up. It seems like you can't cover this up, but I mean, I'm sure Warner Brothers is like, oh, God. Really? You know? That's what's going to be interesting. It's like, how do they handle this when it comes to Joker? How are they going to handle this? But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be covered up. I think this is sending a shockwave through Hollywood. I mean, stuff like this just can't be swept under the rug anymore because of social media and the things, how information gets dispersed out there like crazy. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how where this goes for sure. But I'll keep talking about it. I'm like, good Lord, Joaquin, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, let's talk some Alien Romulus reviews. It's coming out this week. Looking forward to it. Looks like Fede Alvarez is really going back to the basics when it comes to Alien series. Even though I was kind of going, can Ridley Scott finish off what he was doing when it came to Prometheus and Alien Covenant? I mean, I was kind of digging it, but let's see what the critics are saying about Alien Romulus. Currently on the Devil Fruit site, it is at 83% with 115 reviews. So let's read some of these reviews right here and see what the critics are saying. We'll get a mixture of both. Fede Alvarez breathed new life into the franchise with Alien Romulus, finding creative ways to use already established iconic elements of these films and to once again make facehuggers and xenomorphs the nightmare fuel they were meant to be. I liked the movie. Halfway through, I was ready to love the movie, but the frustration that set in was a variation on the cold cliche. It left me wanting less. Sigh. Oh, we got a bad review right here. A profoundly frustrating film, given that it has hints of greatness, but ultimately disappoints. Ooh. Kaylee Spaney, in the heroine role of Rain, she proves herself a worthy successor to the feminine force and fury first channeled by Sigourney Weaver at the dawn of all things Alien. Ultimately, I was happy with Alien Romulus, both from a visual and a tension standpoint. Alien Romulus is a serviceable yet underwhelming entry in a franchise that's otherwise known as for its relentless evolution. The decades-old franchise returns to its space horror roots, but he only gave it 2.5. Interesting. It borrows the shabby computer aesthetic of the 79 flick while upping the ante with haunting grandeur. It's a fun addition, nothing groundbreaking. Immerseful, terrifying, and thrilling with an astounding cast. All right, let's end up with another bad one. All right, last bad one. Alvarez, who did an impressive job with the Evil Dead remake, I agree, isn't to blame. He is a smart director with an eye for visual flair, but in Romulus, he apes too much of the original for it to be surprising. So overall, positive, and it looks like just if you're all about Alien, the first two Aliens, and that back to basics, you're going to like it, and I can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Look for my first reaction tomorrow. I'm actually seeing it with my dad, my brother, and my nephew. That's right. We're all going to be going to see it tomorrow, so can't wait. Can't wait. And we'll see what the box office is, of course, for next week. I'm not even going to look up projections or anything like that. Why even do that? I think it was like something like 50 million or something like that. I don't know. I remember seeing something. All right. Time for, oh boy, here we go. Time for Kraven. All right there, guys. Well, when it comes to Sony, they actually did mention something about Kraven. I said that they wanted to make sure they got this right. By the way, do you see how, like, I have this right here? You know, I have my little graphic right here for Kraven the Hunter. Do you see the year? You see the year that's right there? That's right. You see the year. It was supposed to come out in 2023. Yeah, it's coming out at the end of this year, 2024. It's kind of funny because I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use that and just point out the fact that there was a graphic that did say 2023 because it was supposed to come out at the end of last year and not so much. But hey, Sony, and Sony we trust, right? You know, Miss Amy Pascal, we trust her. We trust her. Where they were like, oh yeah, well they wanted to do the research to make sure they got this stuff right or blah 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 blah. Yeah, Sony, we don't trust you. But anyways, here we go. Time to react to this trailer.
My son, we are hunters. The greatest the world has ever known.
Охотник до сказки.
Каждый сказки есть правда.
That was deep. I'm not talking about the neck wound, I'm talking about his voice.
Who's next?
I heard the noise of thunder.
Yeah, there's the fur.
Are you like your father? A gangster? A killer?
I forgot that Russell Crowe's in this. Totally forgot that Russell Crowe's in this.
And behold.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was kind of cool. A bear trap to the fucking head.
Followed with him. There's a man going round.
Oh, you're not bringing Johnny Cash into this, are you? You are.
And he decides who to free and who to blame. Yes, an animal stronger than you can imagine.
Oh, boy.
On your arm will stand up.
Tell me about this hunter.
Some are born and some are died.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
Begins.
When the man comes around.
Oh, we got an elevator exiting
When the man
sequence.
comes around. Whoever is unjust.
All right. Digging the action at least.
Some kind of code. They'll be unjust too. You're just
That's kind of cool.
another man. Whoever is righteous.
Is that Tom Holland? Just kidding.
For a trophy. Let him be righteous too. Just like our father. When the man comes around. When the man comes around. Embrace who you really are, son.
Oh, here he comes. There he is. There's the rhino.
And you will become a legend. When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Oh, boy. And there's, of course, the poster. I mean, I'm going to check it out. It's fine, but I'm not confident in it. But, I mean, the action at least looks good, and they're leaning heavily into the R-rated stuff. Fun fact, apparently, when it came to the Rhino stuff, that was supposed to be a tease, which, again, it's kind of funny because it was, a certain scooper, which I'm like, yeah, because he was talking about test screenings. Apparently, one of the things that they reshot was the fact that they incorporated Rhino into the movie full on. It was supposed to just be a tease at first. And again, I just kind of go like, okay, it was going to be a tease at first. Why didn't you have Rhino in it at first? What are you thinking, Sony? If you're going to have a Kraven the Hunter movie and you're not going to, and you can't allow anybody else to use the Rhino, an actual Rhino in Spider-Man, like apparently because of all the rights and stuff like that, like they're still like struggling with that when it comes to Marvel Studios and Sony. You have him in the movie. It's a perfect fit for Kraven the Hunter if you're going to do that. But apparently it was just going to be a tease, and one of the again, you got Amy Pascal just not knowing what the fuck is going on, and Sony not knowing what the fuck are they doing. That's why I'm not confident in this. But at least the action in some of the R-rated action looks good, and I'll watch it. But it's just very strange. It's just, I don't know, strange to me. I don't know. Why does this movie exist? But, it's fine. You know me. I go watch all this shit. Villains aren't bored. They're made. Yeah, but he's an anti-hero. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's go ahead and let's see what's going on with Twitter questions. And then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And we'll do a members-only stream after this. We'll talk a little bit before we do DC Fanimated tonight. We have a really good episode of DC Fanimated tonight when it comes to the new Batman adventures, so tune in if you can. I want to hear about this episode. RJ, in honor of Alien Romulus releasing this week, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen? Well, I always thought The Evil Dead was like, I don't know, maybe I just appreciated it too much. Scariest movie? I don't know if it's the scariest movie I've ever seen. That's a good question. I mean, I would say that one of the movies that really freaked me out as a kid was Fire in the Sky, even though it wasn't really meant to be this. It's not a scary movie. The last 15 minutes are the last like 10 minutes before, really freaked me out as a kid when it came to like alien stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Like I would have to really think about that. But I mean, when it comes to The Evil Dead, that's like one of my ultimate like favorite horror movies at least. Eric, so how long can Sony afford to make the Spider-Verse without Spider-Man movies before they realize they have to bite the bullet and admit that outside of Venom, they just don't work without Spidey? Do you think they'll fess up to it or just keep this? I don't know. I mean, Madam Web. Look at Madam Web. Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of wondering. And we'll see what happens after this one and see if this actually does pull in any kind of anything. Devon Wooter, hey Dave, you heard reported Channing Tatum could be Hal Jordan. Yeah, I also heard that it's actually not true from certain people. So don't think that he actually is up for Hal Jordan. Do you think him playing that character of Batman? No, I don't want him as Batman. Just have him keep playing like Gambit. You should bring your friend Scott. Should your host in your send question? What? And do have you any updates for the Raid 3? I'm a fan of those movies, and I haven't heard anything about the Raid 3. I heard they were going to do an American remake, but I don't know what's going on with that either. Who was supposed to star in the American remake of the Raid? Didn't somebody get cast for that? And we haven't heard anything yet. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question 1. If Alien Romulus is successful and revives the Alien franchise, could Noah Hawley's Alien Earth show get released by the end of the year or sometime next year? I think they've already wrapped up shooting, so I think it's just going to be coming out next year. Question 2, if the Authority are in Superman and Recruit Engineer, could their film be the first 2026 in 2026? And if Supergirl arrives on Earth in post-credits scene, could her film be the next one that year? Well, I think they already have a kind of a date. I think Supergirl is going to come out before the Authority. I think they already kind of have a date for Supergirl or something like that. But yeah, I mean, things change all the time though, so you just never know. So we'll see. But anyways, all right, guys. That's today's show. Like I said, members, we'll do a quick little members-only stream. You can pick my brain a little bit more intimate if you want to be a part of it. Become a member of the channel. If not, subscribe. Do all that. We got the Patreon with with everything over there, community over there. We got everything you want to do. Follow me on all the sock meds. If I don't see you guys tonight, I'll see you guys on the vodka stream for Friday. Always fun to join the vodka stream, and we'll see what all comes about when it comes to this Joaquin Phoenix thing and everything. And yeah, we'll talk to the panel about Kraven and all this kind of stuff. All right, guys, members, I'll see you guys in a little bit. See it on your, look for it on your YouTube feed, and everybody else, I will talk to you later.